Alright, this is the first time our new car's been in the shop. It's time for the first oil change on old Red Betty. 1,600 miles. I'm going to do the first oil change. We just went through the car wash to get it. We're going out of town this week, so go ahead and get it done. Got a little grass on it or something. Anyway, I've never even looked under the hood on this. So this is the first service here in my shop. No one works on my car, remember, ever, if possible. So this is the 24 Traverse that we had so much trouble finding. I've never even looked under the hood of it, so I can't hardly reach it. Not with the phone in my hand. Anyway, we'll update you in a minute on seeing how to go about changing the oil here. I've got the stuff already in here. I had to put it over here out of the way, but sticking with the AC Delco Dexos 1 Gen 3 020. And in case you're curious, it's a PF66. It's supposed to be the filter for this. Best of my memory, it's about 6 quarts. I'll have to look into that in a minute. Anyway, here we are. I'm going to tackle this. Just changed the oil in my truck. Now we're going to do this. Alright, the 24 Traverse is on the lift for the first oil change here at my home shop. So, let's do it quick. I've never even opened the hood on it before, so this is the first time. I got 1,600 miles. We're going to do the first oil change just to make sure. And I just loosened the filter. That's why it's dripping a little bit. But all I did is pull this cover off so I could take a look at the engine stuff, because I've never seen any of it. I just wanted to show you if you're interested. Pretty well laid out. Here's the drain plug right beside the filter, and all that was under there was that cover that I took 4 bolts off and dropped that cover right there, kind of like a skid plate. So catalytic converter up in there. It looks like that would be really something to get out of there. Anyway, there's not much to it. There is one funny looking thing here that I noticed, that the driveline is obviously inside this housing going to the back. This is a Z71 all-wheel drive, so it's got a pretty fancy looking differential that I guess does the shifts in, I guess, back here. I forget how that works. I haven't studied on these in a while. On the Ford line is the only ones I ever worked on. But anyway, fully adjustable alignment back here, so that's where you set your rear toe between that one and this one. So it's all pretty well built. Frame, subframes or what have you, welded. Pretty solid build. They do have saddle tanks, so that probably means there's going to be a fuel cylinder in both sides of that tank. This is the larger tank size. I think it holds, I forgot what, 30 gallons or something like that. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at here. So I'm just going to drain the oil right quick. Nothing much to that, but been cleaning the wheels up. We gave it a little bath a minute ago. And so let's see. Hold this light here. I'm gonna just, most of you that would do your own oil changes know how to do this, but just in case, I'm just gonna take the oil pan bolt loose, and I'm trying not to pick up on that assistant. I'm gonna loosen this. Alright, that's plenty good. Alright, we'll get the oil draining, and remember it's only 1,600 miles. Just in case the engine breaking in has any debris in it or whatever, I'd rather get it done in less than 2,000 miles just to just to be sure. So that's all there is to that. I'm going to go ahead and get the filter off of there. It's hard to do that while you hold this, you know. So, probably gonna get all over me. Trying to do this one-handed, I can't be quick about it. I think I'll let it drip a little bit. Where's the rag assistant? Put it up in here. Alrighty. Anyway, I won't bore you with that. We'll let that drain and we'll come back and do a little speech after this, maybe. Alright, we got the oil drained out. I just wanted to put this cover back on and show you. If I can find my light here. There we go. You don't have to take that cover off. You can get to the oil filter and the drain plug just fine. Right here through this hole. Probably will spill a little oil on this, which is why I usually take that stuff off, as I can't stand having any kind of wet place. I've wiped everything clean everywhere I was. Anyway, everything checked out good. I did the multi-point inspection. For anybody new to watching any of my stuff here, is I used to be a technician for many years. In fact, here's some of my stuff where I was a senior master technician with Ford Motor Company for a long time. So I just went online and found the multi-point inspection from the GM website, and my printer ink's about had it, as you can see, but I just went, this is not the form, I've already filed one away in here where I did check the normal stuff, check your brakes, check. I am going to go in with my torque wrench here in a minute and check all the lug nuts. This is supposed to be done at the PDI before you get your vehicle, but most of the time I doubt they're ever checked, to be honest with you. I used to check them when I did PDIs most of the time, but most guys are too lazy and they do not. There's a good chance the technician never saw this car. It probably came in and got cleaned up and was sold. That's just the honest truth of what happens most of the time. So anyway, we're done. I just checked everything, brakes and everything. Of course, this car, like you know, only has 1,600 miles. So, and we've had it 6 weeks. We've had absolutely no problems with this car anywhere on it. Nothing at all. So anything you read on any of the forums about these cars having all these problems, believe me, it's a very rare occasion and very few of them that are having problems. And that's just how it is. Most things are reported that way. That it's just how it is, you know. So now we've had no problems whatsoever, and I'm going to let it down. And like I said, I'm going to check the lug nuts and fill it up. It takes 5.5 quarts of oil. I just looked that up in the owner's manual, and so 5.5 quarts of Dexos 1 Gen 3 W20 oil, and you know, checking fluid levels, everything looks good so far. So anyway, just thought if anyone was curious or wanted to see anything, this is how I do my own service. Always have, always will until I can't. Alright, that's it. Okay, she's all done now. I'll look into the engine a little bit under here, and I did torque all the lug nuts. They were all pretty close. Maybe several of them were maybe 5 foot-pounds looser than that. I clicked them all at 145, which is what the book says they should be at, which is pretty tight actually. But anyway, I pulled the cover off of the engine just to take a look. This is all it is to it. It just has 4 grommets here that you snap loose, and then the oil cap, you take the oil cap off, and then this comes off of there. It actually seals against this. believe, right there. It's a little bit, once it's all there, this ain't loose, but this kind of wobbles, so you want that on there. So anyway, just taking a look at this, let me get a light and I'll show you some of this stuff in case you're not familiar with. Yeah, I know, I hate to keep reminding you, I worked on cars for so many years that I just look at stuff and understand what it is, so I don't expect that everyone does, but anyway, that's these work a lot like diesel engines, turbocharged, direct injected like this. Now right down in here, this is very much like the Ford EcoBoost engine. I don't want to rip that off, but it's just an insulator over the, that's the high pressure fuel pump there. So these work on high pressure, direct injected, like kind of like a diesel in a way. I don't know what the exact pressure, they probably put out 2,000 psi of fuel pressure or something, possibly, maybe 1,500, I don't know on this engine exactly. Now you might wonder, what is all of that? Well, that's pretty simple really. So you've got your air filter right here, so your air is coming in, and of course it's measuring there. There's your mass airflow. I don't want to go real deep into advanced drivability class here or nothing, but you've got a manifold pressure sensor here. Your intake air is coming here. Now let's don't get ahead of it. Here's your intake air is coming in here, getting sucked in by the turbocharger back there that you can't really see from here, but it's there. That's where that's going to be going. Your pressurized air coming from the turbo. Now pressurized air gets hot, right? Just like an air compressor does. So it's going to come in here. This is your charge air cooler, the CAC. So if you'll notice, you've got coolant coming in and out. So this is a heat exchange right in here. So it's cooling that air as it's coming down into the air intake right down here. So that's where your throttle valve and everything's going to be there. So anyway, that's just how that works. And then once you put this cover back on, everything looks nice and clean again. And there's going to be your ECM and, you know, your normal battery, coolant, brake fluid, your normal stuff under here. There's a washer fluid, you know. I'm trying to get too basic here, but now if you'll notice here, there's a vent. So when you fill your cooling system up on most of these modern day, I've got special equipment for doing that, but you basically put this under a vacuum so it sucks all the air out and fills up the coolant. But you can also vent that right there. So when that gets, this looks like the highest point of the cooling system right here. So you could open that vent and purge some air and cooling out right there, and then close your vent back off to make sure you're full of coolant. Your belt drive is down in there. Anyway, I just showing you that. That's the end of the deal. In fact, if I can do this one-handed, I'll go ahead and put this cover back on. A lot of times I can't do this one-handed. I would put a little bit of lube or something on these grommets when you push them back on to make sure they go on smooth. They just stick on these pegs right there. But anyway, you just take your oil cap off. And so that goes around that. Make sure that's clean when you do that. Line up where your grommets all go. Make sure this fits around that. And snap all four of those down. Hey, it's amazing I've done it with one hand, and that's my left hand even. And there she is. Looks all clean and dressed up again. So anyway, there you are for the 2024, the new generation Chevy Traverse. Hope you enjoyed following along. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me. I'm not a Chevrolet expert by any means. Spent most of my career working on Ford Motor Company vehicles, so that's my take on it. Have a great day.